Hello, I'm Lowell Dillon, and this is my interview with Jake Diekman. Jake is a professional baseball pitcher who has played for several teams, including the Texas Rangers and Tampa Bay Rays. Jake was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis when he was 10 years old. He underwent surgery and has been very open about his journey with the disease. He co founded the Gut It Out Foundation with his wife Amanda, which raises awareness and builds community for people living with IBD. I hope you enjoy the interview. So happy to have you here. Talking to you, Jake Diekman, former MLB baseball player. You have ulcerative colitis. How's it going today?
It's going well. It's 90 degrees outside and really can't complain.
Lovely. Sounds lovely. All right. Well, let's start with how and when were you diagnosed with colitis?
When I was 10 is when it first got diagnosed. Went to Omaha. We thought it was water poisoning or something like that. Turned out it was UC. Schedule of pills, different like infusions throughout my life. And then, yeah, we started Gut It Out in 2015. Had a pretty bad flare up right before that, and then we started it to help raise awareness, make kids where they didn't really feel embarrassed to talk about it. Yeah, and then in 17, I got surgery to have a total colectomy.
What were your feelings when you got diagnosed when you were 10?
I mean, that was 28 years ago, so I feel like it's just a lot different now than back then. Not saying they didn't know what was happening back then or like a good program to get you on or pills or medication or whatever. It just wasn't up to where it is 28 years back then. Like
Yeah.
now it's crazy.
Yeah, no, I knew. I mean, myself, I was diagnosed with Crohn's 23 years ago, so or actually colitis, and then was changed to Crohn's. But yeah, everything was so different then, and everything was a lot more revolving around medications and what medication are you on, and taking and not really looking at everything else that goes on involved with taking care of
Yeah.
yourself and your health and staying active and functioning in life, which the medication helps with, but the medication alone can't do totally.
Yeah.
Um, I wanted to ask how you got involved with advocacy. I mean, obviously you have colitis, but what sort of sparked it for you?
Well, my wife, but my girlfriend at the time, talking, I was going through a really bad flare up. And I said, we should just make like a shirt, raise money, and then we can throw it to wherever we want after that. And we started bringing kids from local like children's hospitals around, um, their parents, their sister, brothers, whoever. And then that is when it started like really, we were like, okay, I understood how much it sucked to have it when I was a kid. Like, you really don't want to take all your pills. You really don't want to tell your parents what's going on. Like, you're talking about poop, for God's sake. Like, you know? So if we can get them in a room and I can like kind of break the ice and then have them start answering questions or asking me questions, then that right there is a good enough reason to start it.
I know myself with Connecting to Cure, we met you, or I think we did it twice where we went to Angel Stadium and
Mm-hmm.
brought a lot of kids with IBD to meet you and talk to you, which was really cool. And just, yeah, sharing your story and, hearing their stories, just meeting people like yourself having IBD and succeeding in the world is very, very important. What has been the most rewarding part of your advocacy and being an advocate, and I guess what have you maybe learned from it?
I'd say, well, in the past 2 or 3 years, like watching our oldest daughter, because she would come like to the field if we were doing one, like because that could be her. So the whole room, say there's 20 families with a kid and brothers and sisters, there's 80 people in there. Like now that I have kids, like talking to young kids about it, like really hits home. Just reminding them like it's going to be okay. Like I get it sucks right now, but with the right treatment plan or doctor or surgery, like you're going to be a lot better off than you are. And to talk about it, like I get when it was what it was like when I was younger, having to go to the doctor or tell my parents or not take a pill. Like I would skip pills for a week and then I would instantly feel terrible. And I was young, so I didn't really care. But like looking back at it, I get why uh, there might have been flare ups. Like the doctors are smart. Your parents are there to help you, and your friends, if they don't know, then tell them like, hey, this is what's going on.
Yeah, and it always, I find it always helps to talk. I mean, obviously, having a friend at school when you're a kid, it's harder to talk about. But if you do have someone that you're, close enough with who can understand, that it is incredibly helpful, especially
Mhm.
when you're younger. What is your favorite pitch?
I mean, favorite pitch has to be a fastball that you strike a guy out in. Um, it has to be the best.
Can I get like a part of the strike zone? Like, what's like the most satisfying like feeling? Does it matter? It doesn't matter.
Probably like right down the middle,
Okay, yeah, sure.
because that just means like you beat him.
That's just like I'm
Like
better.
mono,
Like you couldn't beat me.
yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
yeah, that's the best.
How many teams did you play on?
I played on 9.
That is a lot. I'm not gonna ask you what your favorite one was, but what's your favorite city that you played on a team in? What is your favorite city of a team that you played on?
Texas, Kansas City, like felt like home, like Midwest. But when we were in Tampa, and both our girls were 4 and just born, like they love the water. So just being able to go to the beach every morning or whenever, and then go play at night, that was when you can travel in a golf cart everywhere. It's the best.
Yeah, I remember actually I met you. We went to a game where I think you were on the Rays. I could be wrong, but
Mhm.
it was like 2 years ago. It was at Angel Stadium, and it was the night before we had like a hurricane here, like for the first time,
Yeah,
a tropical storm or something,
yeah.
uh, which I thought was funny because you were going back to Tampa the next
Hmm.
year. There was often
Yeah.
hurricane. All right. Hi, Amanda.
Hi.
You do a lot of work with the Get It Out Foundation with Jake, of course.
Yeah.
Can you introduce yourself and talk a little bit about it?
Yeah. So I'm Amanda Diekman, Jake's wife. We started the Gut It Out Foundation in 2015
Hmm.
after Jake was in a bad flare up and just felt like more people out there were affected by Crohn's and colitis than people were willing to talk about and wanted to change the stigma around that and quickly realized that there are a lot of people that either themselves are diagnosed or know somebody that's diagnosed, and how important it is to not only be a voice for people with diseases, but also their caretakers as well. Because from my end, being a caretaker, especially when Jake went through his major surgery and just his flare ups that he would have, just knowing how hard that also is on the caretakers and connecting to them as well as the patients.
Hmm. Yeah, and Jake, how in those difficult moments when you do have flares, I guess like mentally, how did you sort of stay up and stay active and in the game, and how did Amanda, I guess, sort of help with that side of it?
I mean, she was the best. She was when I was going through surgery. She was the best nurse. She was the best. Like, I mean, I'd fall asleep in the bathtub. She'd come in. And if I wasn't in bed, she'd wake me back up, bring me back in. Like, helped me change my bag. Helped me. I mean, didn't leave my side in the hospital. And then in flare ups, it's like the same thing. I was super transparent, like, hey, this is going on. I really didn't have much time to like think about flare ups and stuff like that because we were playing every day.
Mhm.
Like it was just different. Like I would get an infusion at noon and be done at 3, and then at 7 o'clock we're playing that night. Like
Hmm. Did that affect your play? I mean, obviously it does affect it, but like how much would you notice
on on
playing?
the mound, I would never
Never think about
like
it? Like or like
no, or I would never have the urge to like go to the bathroom. It was just so weird. Like once they
Mhm.
called my name and like I got on the mound and started warming up,
it's just game
like
time. Yeah.
I don't know if it was like you lock in that much or
No,
but like
it's
the urge was
mentally.
completely gone.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's like they're just getting your mind off something, focusing on something else. Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
for me playing video games and I can't think of anything else if I'm doing that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Amanda, how did you sort of take care of yourself? Because I know it is very hard for caregivers a lot of the time dealing with this because it just can be so much to
Mhm.
deal with a lot of the time. So how did you take care of yourself?
I think just the connection to other people. At the time, we had learned of a NFL couple that had done the same surgeries that Jake was doing. And he was about like 8 to 12 weeks ahead of Jake in the process. And I don't remember how we got connected, but I was connected with his then wife. And she was just so helpful to be able to talk things through because I do feel like it's similar just in being a baseball wife in general. Like, we are the only people that get what it's like to go through the day to day of a baseball season and being away from family and things like that. So, being able to connect to other caretakers that are also going through it helped me a lot. Um, just being able to rely on each other. Therapy, honestly, I'm a big therapy component, or not therapy component, therapy fan. Um, just being able to figure out, talking with him, being transparent about what can I do to help you because I know that I don't understand what you're going through and what it's like, and recognizing that because I think sometimes you could get caught up in I'm just trying to help and it's not helpful. So to like recognize that I don't know what it feels like. So open communication helped me take care of myself a lot because I knew that it wasn't me necessarily that might be making him feel some way. And just being there however I could for him and asking him directly what he needed from me was always helpful.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah.
Your support group is never trying to harm you further.
Yeah. Which is
Like,
hard to see in the moment when you're feeling really bad and you feel like nobody understands what it feels like. And I don't. And it's the same thing I think in
yeah.
baseball too. It's like
Well, it's
Jake,
the same thing if you're pregnant.
yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Well,
But
Like,
I
it's,
also,
it's the same thing now.
yeah,
Like you don't know how what
yeah,
her
I still
feelings are,
don't.
how she's affected by
yeah.
it too. You know. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but yeah, doing those meet and greets and stuff and connecting to other caretakers. And then also the Instagram account that we created, I feel like filled up really quickly with people that were wanting to connect and sharing things and being able to post and being like, hey guys, has anybody ever dealt with this? Um, what products, like what can I do to help my person when he's feeling like this? And so that was something that helped me as a caretaker.
What have you guys sort of learned from this, and that you can apply to other areas of your life, and maybe if you have ideas or tips for navigating this? Um,
I think I feel like for me, it's such an invisible disease that it has really taught me that you don't know what somebody's going through behind closed doors. I think UC patients and Crohn's patients a lot of the time look healthy on the outside. I mean, they might, if in extreme cases, maybe skinny or whatever else, but from just like looking at a person, you can't tell. Like just looking at Jake, you would never be able to know like what he goes through each day and what he went through before surgery. And it's just a good life lesson that you never know what people are actually going through and to be kind and you're not better than anybody else and you just have no idea. Um, yeah, that's helped me a lot just in lots of areas of life. I don't know about you.
I mean, talking about what you're feeling, what you're going through, like, I feel like that's huge. Like, I could get in a room with 20 kids and in 5 minutes have them tell me, oh, I told this friend at school, I told this teacher, like, and their parents have never heard that. But I mean, honestly, if you don't feel good or you need to tell your parents, your doctor, like key transparency is pretty big.
Yeah.
mhm.
It's just we've learned a lot about communication and just being able to like we can't read each other's minds. So that's also something that applies in multiple areas of life that if you can like put your pride aside and just be honest about how you're feeling, it's going to help the other person and help you as well.
If you had any, I guess, well, yeah, Jake, if you had any advice for yourself when you were diagnosed at 10, what would it be? If there is any, what would you tell yourself?
If I could go back,
Not to feel sorry for yourself.
yeah,
You can still do
28
things.
years ago, you can still do what you wanted to do when you were 5. Um, I would be a lot more transparent with my doctor and my parents and my friends, and like very vigilant on the medications that were given to me and staying on schedule, taking everything. That would be those two, three things would probably be everything.
Amanda, what about you?
I think there's a lot of times where we would feel sorry for ourselves, like when it was like really bad, or when it's like I I think one lesson that we learned, my mom actually taught the both of us, is if you could like try and pick somebody else to go through it, like if you could hand it over to somebody else, like who would you pick? And then when you start thinking about it that way, it's like, well, nobody wouldn't want to do that. So it's like, this is just what I'm facing right now, and that's fine because I know I can get through it. Um, and it doesn't have to define me or let it stop me from what I want to do.
Yeah. Her,
Um,
it was like day 1 or 2 after the first surgery that I had. I was having a pretty big pity party in the hospital, and her mom was like, "Hey, if you don't think you can do this, then just wish it upon someone else." And I was like, "Dang!" And then after that, like,
just
there
perspective.
might have been bad nights or bad days, but I never like,
That's a that I have not heard that one actually.
Yeah.
That's a new one for me. It's gonna
yeah,
My mom was in a
it's
plane crash, and so
gonna take
she
a second
has,
to sink in.
yeah, my mom was in a plane crash years and years ago, and I was about my daughter's age, like 6. And she had tons of injuries, obviously. And somebody had given her that advice, then pick somebody else and put it on them, and you don't. And so then you just get through it, and then you realize that you could do it. And she's ran marathons, and is you would never know the story behind what she's been through. And so just that perspective from somebody that's obviously been through something catastrophic and made it through. This is like, but that's been good advice for us, I guess.